Hey guys, dissection of violence here. We got another one for you. UFC 317. Let's get right into it. Good card, man. It's a really good card. Let's. I can't wait to get into it. So let's start off with the bottom. Let me see here. We have Jacoby Smith, or no, it should be someone else now. Let me see here. Did they update the fights yet? Like they should have updated them. Sorry guys, I broke my nose a few days ago, so bear with me. Yeah, so we have Jackson McVey versus Christopher Ewert to start the night. Um, this is a good fight, man. I think Christopher Ewert is a legit fighter. He's unproven, at the higher levels, but so is McVey. So it's like we really don't know how good these guys are. Fighting each other is going to be a good litmus test for both of them. Reese Watkins has been shown not to be very good, so I don't really know how good of a win that is anymore. But Ewert styled on him. He can be very dangerous on the feet. So can McVey. McVey's very rangy, good front chokes, decent jiu-jitsu. So it's like I don't know what to make of this fight. Ewert shown some funky scrambling in the past against Chambers, so I don't really know. I think McVee's a pure grappler, so I don't know. I don't really think Ewert's gonna have a lot to worry about there. Um, or I don't think sorry, I don't think Ewert's gonna I don't think Ewert's gonna have the best grappling, so I don't think McVee on the ground's gonna have to worry a lot there. But as far as on the feet, I feel like Ewert's gonna and McVee are gonna be very competitive. Someone could get KO'd early in the first round. Um, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Ewert, but I'm not confident. This is a very close fight, and I could see one of the other guys getting the KO early. So definitely gonna be careful here. Um, ugh. Definitely there's gonna be some fireworks in the opening part of the night. Um, I think this fight could get hairy, could even be a split territory. But yeah, I gotta go with Mr. Ewert here. It's a very close fight though. I'm not betting it. Someone's always gotta go, and this is a really good fight to open the card. Moving on, we have Alvin Hines versus Johannata Diniz. I think Alvin Hines is actually like decent. He's pretty pedestrian on the feet. He's not exactly the most technical. He gets pretty hittable at times, but the thing about him is he's a dog and he's gonna push the pace. He's gonna look to break you, ground and pound. He's not jiu-jitsu's not very good, so I don't think if he's on top, the submission threat's gonna be there. I think Deniz is pretty good at not letting people ground and pound him, other than like Tybura or guys who are actually like really good at finding positions to ground and pound. I think I think Hines is, he's got some ground and pound finishes, but against who? Mill is a decent look. That guy is a decent wrestler. But I don't know. I think Deniz has decent guard retention, so I could see him, lasting to a decision. And if it does go to a decision, I could see him winning moments over minutes with Hines. So I'm gonna go Deniz here as my pick. My initial read was Hines just because Deniz looked god awful on the ground versus Tybura. And I feel like if you give Hines that many free takedowns, I feel like he can run away with it. Another fight where it's pretty close, but I gotta go with the more established guy in the UFC, someone who's actually had UFC experience fights, someone who's a very high level glory fighter, and yeah, I don't know. I just think I think Deniz is just a much better fighter on the feet, but on the ground, I think Hines should be able to find positions to ground and pound. But heavyweight big boy fight, I'm just gonna stay away from it. Probably save yourself some stress. I'm not betting on this fight, but the value, I don't know. I want to say values on Hines, but If Diniz KOs him early, the value could look like a short on Diniz. So I don't know, man. This is a weird fight. Same with the first one. I'm just gonna probably not bet either of them. Just look to pass. But yeah, moving on. We have Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price. I'm not gonna speak long about this one at all. This is a gimme fight. We have Jacoby Smith, 10-0 prospect versus Nico Price, 16-8, injury ridden, been KO'd a few times now. Um, been submitted a few times. He has a win over Alex Morono, so it's like the guy still is capable of getting wins. So to underestimate him is, hard here. He is dangerous, but I just think Jacoby Smith is an animal. Like, will he lose to better guys? 100%, but I don't think Nico Price is the guy to show him levels. I think Nico Price is going to get finished here in the first round by TKO. I don't think Nico Price is at a UFC level anymore. I think the guy's a veteran, so would this be a crazy upset? 100%. Is it possible? 100%, but I highly doubt it. So I'm gonna go with Jacoby Smith here by TKO round one. No confidence, or not no confidence. Sorry, no bet here. The odds aren't the greatest. Negative 150 for round one. Negative 100, I think, for round one KO. So 50 cents off the round one finish. I don't think it's worth it. I just think it's a pass, honestly. So I'm gonna go with Jacoby Smith round one, but no bet for me for this spot. I just like, what's Nico Price gonna do? I don't understand. Is he gonna upkick him? Is he gonna outstrike him? Like, I think Jacoby Smith has better boxing. I think his wrestling is far better. I think he's much more confident at this stage in his career. He's not injury ridden, and the guy's a dog, or not a dog. Sorry, he's a powerhouse. So it's like all the finishing equity, in my opinion, goes to Jacoby Smith. I know Nico Price can be dangerous, but I don't know. I gotta go with Jacoby Smith, man. I just think Nico Price is over the hill, and he's not fighting a guy like Alex Morono, where he's not gonna feel like where he's gonna feel like he's safe at the most of the fight. He felt like he was safe. Don't think he's gonna feel like that in this fight. I feel like Jacoby Smith is probably gonna find the KO early. Like I said before, KO one is most likely what's gonna happen in this fight. Yeah, guys, don't just ignore this fight. I wouldn't even bet on it. Moving on, we have Vyacheslav Borshchev taking on Terrence McKinney. I gotta go with my boy T Rex here, but would it surprise me if the guy gasses out and gets finished in the second or third? No. Borshchev's a very dangerous guy. 8-5 record is deceiving. The guy is very, very dangerous. His jiu-jitsu is pretty weak, so I'm not really too worried about him getting a submission. But the TKO in rounds two and three, even one, is very, very live. I think Borshchev goes to the body very, very well. I think McKinney gets tired. Um, and I think if things don't go his way early, I think McKinney can break. So I got to go with McKinney here just because he's always round one or bust, and Borshchev has been shown to get hurt before. So I think the recoverability against guys like Sadikov is a good look. But it's hard to bet against a guy who has good for the first round and is Terrence McKinney. So my pick is Terrence McKinney round one, but I'm going to be looking to live play Borshchev here. I think Borshchev probably I can let you cook him. I think this is a close fight though. I wouldn't run to bet this fight. Look for props maybe. I honestly I can't get a confident side on either of these guys. Like these guys are both gonna scrap, and it's volatile. It's a volatile fight, man. Yeah, I don't. This fight is I don't know. This fight is fan favorite fight, I guess. I don't know. Slava Claus isn't really in the fans' good graces right now. He's had some pretty lackluster performances as of late. So if you look at his recent performances against Tom Nolan, absolutely horrible. Chase Hooper got destroyed. Lawn Top, you won a split, but that was a weird fight. It's like I said, he showed that he can be dangerous on the feet. So the KO is live for Borshchev, but I don't know. I just think McKinney's probably going to chin him early. That's probably what's going to happen. Moving on, we have Viviane Araujo taking on Tracy Cortez. I got to go with Tracy Cortez here. I'm not confident. Araujo looked great her last fight. I think Araujo has phenomenal experience. She showed good takedown defense, good get ups. She can bring it on. She's an ultra vet. She's got experience. She's pretty good everywhere. Like I think she can cause a lot of problems in this fight to Tracy, but the age, man, I can't get over how old she is. She's 38 years old. I know she just beat a grappler last year, but Tracy Cortez has the capabilities to outbox her and outwrestle her. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with the A side. They're definitely looking for Tracy to win. Tracy's also a gamer. She's gonna compete for your money. Her boxing has definitely gotten a lot better. Her performance against Jazz was, you know, showed some improvements with her hands. She looked very, very clean. I think Araujo is going to give her the type of fight she wants, a slow paced fight. And I think Tracy Cortez is going to just, win minutes. I don't think it's like a moment's needed thing. I think she could win the fight anywhere she wants. So I'm going to go Tracy Cortez by decision. It's most likely she doesn't finish anybody. So I'm going to go Tracy Cortez here. Yeah, women's MMA at chalk is usually a no go. So just going to pass on this one, but I do think Tracy Cortez likely gets it done. And if you were to tell me you parlayed her, I wouldn't think it's a terrible idea. But women's MMA at chalk, uh, I don't know. I think the line could be a little closer. So I'm not betting this fight, but I do think Tracy Cortez wins by decision, and that is my prediction for the fight. Moving on, we have Hyder Amil taking on Jose Delgado. I gotta go with Jose Delgado, man. Like honestly, like I get Hyder's good. Don't get me wrong, but like if he doesn't like Homer Simpson Delgado and like pressure him right off the jump, I don't know how he gets Delgado's respect. Like Delgado he's very very dangerous, and although he doesn't do well with pressure sometimes, I do think he is improving. Um, Young Lee, is not that good. We're finding out he went to a split with Gomez. Not that great. Fernie Garcia, not that great. Emra Samras, like these guys aren't that great. So it's like to get a read on him is not. I think Jose Delgado is a very, very skilled fighter, very dangerous fighter. And I think Ernie Juarez, yes, he was pressuring him and finding success, but I think Ernie Juarez, um, I think he's a better grappler than Emil. So it's like I think Delgado was just more stressed about the grappling. I don't think he's gonna have to worry about that here. I think he's gonna be able to plant and throw, and I feel like he's gonna be able to find big shots on Emil. So I'm gonna go with Delgado here. I feel like he finds the TKO here. I think it's gonna be a war. So would I advise betting on this fight? No, I definitely would not. This is a very volatile fight, but I do think Delgado um is the more skilled fighter. I just don't know if his mental is at the level of Hyder's. So Hyder tends to drown talented guys, and we'll see if another talented guy drowns here. So I'm gonna pass on this spot, but I do think Delgado wins. Definitely a closer fight than well, I would say the odds have it. The odds are pretty close. I'd say it's a closer fight than people are trying to make it seem. Like Hyder's just gonna run him over. He's got no cardio. Blah 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 blah. I think this is a closer fight. I gotta go with Delgado here though. Not confident. Moving on, we have Gregory Robocop Rodriguez taking on Jack Hermansson. I gotta go with Gregory Robocop here. I feel like Hermansson's just very, very. He's a crafty vet and he knows how to weasel his way to a decision, but I don't think he has enough rounds to do that with Rodriguez here. I feel like 3 rounds favors Rodriguez. He puts out a really good pace in the first 2 rounds, and then he could even coast in the third. I feel like Hermansson is very live to get KO'd early, so I think like the Cannonier fight, he gets very overwhelmed early by big punchers, and he's tough and he's a vet, so not saying he's gonna go away easily, but he can be TKO'd early. So I'm gonna go RoboCop here. I think RoboCop gets him out of there. I think he gets him out of there with a flurry early. I could see Hermansson crumbling, and yeah, I, I don't know. I think Hermansson is. I think Hermansson's a vet, and don't get me wrong, that win over Pfeiffer's a decent win. Don't get me wrong, Pfeiffer's pretty good, but he's pretty basic. Whereas I think RoboCop, he does throw a little bit more than just a 1-2. I feel like he throws hooks, knees, he throws the whole kitchen sink at him, and I do feel like it's going to overwhelm Hermansson, and especially early. If he survives the storm, then great, but I feel like this is one of those fights where Hermansson could get TKO'd here. So I'm going to go with RoboCop by TKO rounds 1 or 2. But I would not be surprised to see Mr. Hermansson. Actually, I would be surprised to see him winning a 3-round decision. That would be a really, really bad look on RoboCop if he got out pointed by Hermansson or somehow broken like that. I just can't see that happening. So I'm gonna go with RoboCop here by knockout round 1 or 2. Moving on, we have Peyton Talbott taking on Felipe Lima. Ah, this is a hard one for me. Hard one for me. I, I'm I'm torn, man. Like I really, really want to bet Peyton, but honestly, if I'm being honest, like I think Lima wins. I think Lima is just so technical, so talented. He has so many ways to win. He can out grapple him. He can outstrike him. I gotta go with Lima here. I think it's a slight lean. I think Talbot with 4-ounce gloves and the way he fights is a live dog in any fight. So gonna probably not bet this fight and look to live bet Talbot. I expect him to drop round 1 at a high clip. I think Lima is going to, if he gets any back control, I think that's the round. I feel like Felipe Lima has some of the best back takes in the UFC, and Peyton Talbot has some of the worst back take defense in the UFC. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna definitely go Felipe Lima, but not confident. And I do think Felipe Lima could sell it. He's he's not I don't know. He has shown that he struggles with pressure. Magard took him 5 rounds, so he's shown he has cardio. But I do think someone like Talbot could show. Naimov had him pretty tired in their fight, and I think Talbot can push a higher pace than Naimov. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Peyton, or sorry, not Felipe Lima, but I don't know. I think this is a crazy line. I think Talbot is a live dog, and if this gets anywhere over plus 200, I might have to take a shot on Peyton. I don't know though. Probably gonna pass. Just this is a hard fight to call, to be honest. Moving on, we have Renato Money Moicano taking on Beniel Dariush. I gotta go with Money Moicano, man. This is another fight where I could see a few different outcomes. Moicano should win this. His durability is better in my opinion. Where he's at in his career is better. They're looking to have big fights for him. Money Moicano, whereas Dariush is now at the twilight of his career. I think I think Moicano could get him out of there by TKO, but it's most likely going to a decision. Benio's pretty tough. Um, he has a few TKOs, but when was the last time Benio's was TKO'd? Oliveira, but I don't think Moicano's gonna head kick him. So I don't know. Weird fight for me to call or bet on. So I'm just gonna pass altogether. I think I think Moicano wins. I think it's a close fight. And yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Dariush split decision win. I think this is a close fight, and yeah, he's shown great scramble ability in the Gamrot fight. The guy's a very very skilled grappler. He's getting older, so that's another thing that favors Moicano. But Moicano's no spring chicken either, so I don't know. The ATT waters over there, they'll have them on different frequency when it comes to the cardio, so. I do think the cardio edge is also going to go to Moicano. But yeah, man, this is a close fight. No matter how you want to spin it, this is a very close fight. And yeah, I'm going to go with Moicano here, though. I think Moicano wins by Later on is TKO or decision. Alrighty, moving on. We have Brandon Royval taking on Joshua Van. I gotta go with Royval, man. I think this is a hard fight for Van. I think he is so short, and he got absolutely lit up by Charles Johnson in round one. Um, he won the whole fight basically, but he got finished in the third. I think if you're giving that was he gives a lot of finishing opportunities to opponent when he shoots, when he dips, when he changes level. I feel like Brandon Royval could find a submission, he could find a TKO. I feel like he's very live finishing Josh Van. Being as 3 rounds, it does favor. Actually, no, it's a pretty close fight, no matter how many rounds. But if this was 5 rounds, it would have been an easy click Royval. But there's a lot of hype on Van, and justifiably so. The kid is very, very talented. But I just feel like this is a lot too soon. So I'm gonna go with Royval inside the distance here. There was a time, and I remember there was a day where Josh Van was submitted by some bum in Fury FC. Now you're giving him a guy like Brandon Royval. I know he's proven that he's improved since then, but I don't know. I feel like Royval is on a different level. We'll see if Van's at that level. I'm really excited to find out with this fight. It's a good, really, really good fight. Yeah, I gotta go with Royval here. If I had to pick between submission or inside or TKO, probably go submission just because Van's been submitted before, but he's also been TKO before by Charles Johnson, so I just would keep it safe and bet Royval inside the distance or just pass. This is another fight. There's so many fights in this card where it's just like I'd rather just live bet this card and yeah, just chill. Don't have to put too much stock into one fight. There's lots of fights on this card that are pretty tricky. Anyways, moving on, we have Kai Kara France taking on Alexandra Pantoja, the champion. Um, I gotta go. I'm gonna go Pantoja, but it's only off of logic. My heart is telling me Kai, and I think my heart's telling me that because we've seen Pantoja get tired and just deal with it, kind of like DDP. I just think Kai Kara France, if you let him get his flow and he knows you're tired, I feel like he can build. And the failed takedowns can look like, I feel like Kai can win rounds off of moments. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Pantoja is very hittable, as everyone knows, and I don't think that's good against someone who hits as hard as Kai. So I'm gonna go with Pantoja, but I feel like the line's a little wide. So I'm gonna pass altogether, but I do think Pantoja wins. I do think the grappling of Albazi is nowhere near the level of Pantoja, and Albazi got him down, almost finished him. So I feel like if Pantoja gets those positions, probably gonna find the finish. I gotta go with Pantoja here. Logic's Pantoja, but my heart's telling me Kai's gonna get it done this time. So we'll see if my heart or my brain is right this time. Definitely a good fight though. Um, yeah, man. I really think Kai has made the improvements. He's riding. I know he's not riding like a win streak or anything, but the guy has shown he's a top level guy. Um, yeah, man, this guy's dangerous. Pantoja's. He's also dangerous, but I just feel like it's Kai's time right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kai's just always gonna be that runner up to the belt. And, lose to the top guys, but I think this is a good fight for him, and I feel like that takedown defense that he's known for is going to be a staple in this fight. So I'm going to go with Pantoja here, but I'm not confident. My heart's telling me Kai, so take that with what you will. Not a confident fight for me. As you can tell, my heart and brain are conflicted. So yeah, moving on. We have the main event. We have Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I'm going with Topuria, man. Like this is a pretty like I want to say straightforward fight, but if Charles is getting hit and dropped by all these guys who don't have the hands of Topuria, I wonder what Topuria is gonna do. I feel like Topuria is gonna get him out of there in the first round, like he said. I think his boxing is legit. I think his power is legit. Whether it's at lightweight, whether it's at featherweight, whether it's welterweight, I think the guy carries power. I feel like he can get Charles out of there. If he doesn't get Charles out of there, I could see this being also a long night for him. So it's a pass spot for me. I usually would back Ilya, because you got to back a guy with that much confidence in himself. The guy is an absolute stud. But I don't know, Charles Oliveira is just not a name that you want to fade or get in the habit of fading. Especially when he is a big underdog. I feel like Oliveira is a value side, but I'm just not doing it. I think Topuria sleeps him early. Yeah, man, I really like this fight. I'm glad they made it the main event. Yeah, I gotta go with Topuria by knockout rounds one or two. Oliveira, yeah, I got to meet both these guys, so both these guys are hold a special place in my heart. But I gotta go with Topuria here. I just feel like the logic says Topuria. So, uh, alrighty, guys. Yeah, that's it. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll give you guys my top five picks, and we'll get you guys out of here. Number one, we have Jacoby Smith. Number two, we have Ilya Topuria. Number three, we have Alexandre Pantoja. Number four, we have Tracy Cortez. Number five, we have Money Moicano. Alrighty, guys. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. Peace.